Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel and some more Pillage here. Finally got the new terrain that they released, the scatter terrain, in the mail. It took forever to get through customs here over in the US, but won't comment on the reasons for that, or likely reasons for that. So there's 4 sets that we picked up here. Some of it's pretty basic stuff, but we'll want to show you guys nonetheless, because a lot of the scenarios in Pillage do require a fair bit of terrain, especially scatter terrain and various things that would be considered loot and stuff like that. So we got barrels, sacks, treasures, and chests. Really cool, so like literal loot. And then the larger set here, the market stall, basically, which again even has some barrels and stuff in there. So we'll get this all open up for you guys, and we'll show you everything in detail. So we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we're back and we got everything opened up here for you. So the smaller sets, you're basically getting 2 to 3 sprues each. And then the larger market set is actually 4. We'll talk about that in a second. So the barrels one, it's 2 of the same sprue, so we'll get one of these out of the way, but we'll show you in detail here. Barrels of various sizes, nothing, not really reinventing the wheel here. It's barrels, and it's not that hard to make them, so pretty simple set, but you'll get quite a few here just from assembling the one sprue, and you get 2 of these in the individual set. So that should probably cover you pretty well for one table, maybe even 2, depending on how much other scatter terrain and stuff you have. And really not going to be too much work assembling them. It's pretty easy. Usually I think they're just all 2-piece ones, right? So super simple to get that done with the way that they've designed them, right? You got a top and a bottom half and a side, basically. So simple stuff there. The sacks is another one where you get 2 of the same sprue. Pretty simple stuff there. A lot of different little variations on those. By and large, you get some that are just flat, so you can kind of just lay them on the ground, and then some that you need to essentially 2-piece assemble. It's not really a major gripe, but I just feel like these could have all just been 1 piece. I mean, for real. So you're going to spend a little bit of time putting all these together. Not a big deal again, but I don't know. I feel like they could have just made these, like I said, a single solid piece, but it is what it is. Not a complaint, but probably could have done that a little bit better. I don't know. Let us know how you guys feel on that. But anyway, you get 2 of those. So again, plenty of stuff there. One of those really should suffice unless you're trying to get really elaborate or have multiple tables. Now the treasure one is pretty cool. You get 3 of the same sprue here. So again, plenty, and they managed to pack a lot on here. You get various treasure chests, a lot of like gold, church memorabilia. I shouldn't say memorabilia, that's the wrong word. Church accoutrements. So you got different crosses, chalices, candle holders, crosses on a stick or staff or whatever. Different treasure chests, some golden crosses, etc. So perfect for fancier loot, right? Gold loot. So especially in some of those scenarios that do involve a church or a little monastery or whatever, what have you. Really simple there. And honestly, one of those is probably enough for like any one like scenario like that. But they give you 3 in here, really. So, that's going to be more than enough for any one table. And honestly, if you're fixing to essentially have like a little maybe competitive scene, maybe have like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 tables or more. This is definitely a good way to start that and have enough of that particular terrain for a little small event. Now the market set is interesting, and you may want to actually just start with that one unless you dead set need the church loot and treasures. So it's an interesting one. So you get actually 1 sprue of the barrels here and 1 sprue of the sacks. So actually, we'll actually have 3 of each of these now, so we don't need to repeat there, but it's literally the same sprue. So more of that, honestly, probably too much. But then the market sprue itself, we get 2 of them. They're identical, so again, we'll just focus on the one here. But you get a couple of stalls, a little bit of livestock, a lot of little pots and stuff like that. So fair bit of small stuff to paint, so that might be a little tedious, but pretty cool nonetheless. And again, they've done a pretty dang good job here of just, it's not a huge sprue by any means, but there's just a lot of little stuff on here. And having 2 of these really will help you build a nice little market to go along with any of the smaller buildings and stuff that you have for, your small little town. So pretty good here. Now, if you're looking to, on this one though, again, run multiple tables, maybe you're having an event or something like that, you probably will want a couple of these though. And honestly, that probably, aside from the treasure package, you might just honestly get multiples of these if you're looking to build for like a store or an actual event, because again, you do get a sprue of the barrels and a sprue of the sacks in each of these market sets. So if you want just like if you had to pick one, right, and you didn't have the budget for all of them, or just want to not get a whole lot of different things, I'd say just a couple of these and you've got yourself a very fine table. But they've done a good job on this. It'll be interesting to see if they come out with anything else that might be a little bit more themed towards some of the factions. I don't think they necessarily need to reinvent like the market stalls and stuff like that, but it would be interesting to see just some like potentially faction specific terrain. Like, right, we have those three factions that are more in the east, right, the Rus and the Byzantines and the Magyars. Maybe they'll do some other like more Southern Europe related things. So there's just a lot of potential ideas here, but just having some themed terrain would be pretty cool too, somewhat relating to the factions, whatever that might look like, right? But all in all, pretty happy with that. So we've got plenty of little things to assemble here, and then just a lot of little, unfortunately, like boring painting here. It's not going to be much to paint up the barrels, but it's just going to be a lot of little things. So easy to churn through, but I wouldn't necessarily do all this stuff in one setting. That'll, I think, lead to some serious burnout. But all together, right, so basically one of everything, and that's one hell of a table there just for all the small terrain and stuff like that. So it is, again, a overall terrain intensive game, so there's a fair bit that you want, even though it's really on typically a small table. The typical couple of houses or huts, or even the church and stuff like that, not too hard to really acquire, not too much work involved in that, and even some woods and roads, little streams, rivers, whatever, what have you, some bridges, all that pretty easy. But because the game does involve so much little like scatter trains, whether it's like objectives or loot or just anything along those lines, and really if you want to just like kind of dress up your towns, not have them be so bare bones with just like the buildings, and that's more or less it. This definitely will go a long way to really making the towns feel alive once they're fully painted up and going along with your forces. So all in all, pretty good stuff, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments if you've picked these up and what you think of the sets. Be sure to like and subscribe. We will have much more Pillage for you guys coming very soon. Thanks for watching.